Hey guys, this is IX with RolloutReviews doing another Let's Build. This time it is Onua, Uniter of Earth. Now this, just going off of the pictures, is probably one of, if not my favorite set in the wave. And that's probably because of its copious amounts of trans purple, but also because he just looks awesome. It also doesn't have stickers like his previous set, which immediately makes it better in my book. So, yeah, let's just jump into things. I talked about my general opinions and expectations of this wave in the Tahu Let's Build, so hopefully I can get into things a bit faster in this one. You have the comic on the back there, a couple of the features there. Actual size, this looks much bigger than the Tahu mask, so that's good. You have, what's his name? Tarak? Is Tarak Onua's? I think so. Doesn't say his name back here, but anyway, you have him in the background there, and then of course the Uniter mask of control, and Onua's Nuva symbol up here, or whatever they're calling these symbols now. Nuva symbol, maybe they're the Uniter symbols or creature symbols or something. He's got this awesome, like, hammer, Gatling, drill, justice weapon, which is sweet. It always seems like the Earth Toa always get the Earth characters in this new series always get the justice weapons, like Korgot's drill, Onua's giant hammer, and now this beast of a drill thing. So, very, very cool. Anyway, opening this right up and jumping inside. Come on. Come on, here we go. I think this has one of the most pieces in the wave. I actually don't know exactly how many pieces Umarak the Hunter has, but this has 143, which is quite a few pieces. So that's good. Let me bring the camera down here, and then bring the backdrop down to match as well, before we open up these bags and finally get going here. So here we have the instructions, which is pretty much the standard fare. As far as I can tell, it's pretty much the same idea as Tahu was, so nothing to worry about there. Let's open up these bags and see what's up. Finally, trans purple studs and trans purple shells. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, I am so happy. Trans purple is a delicious, delicious color. And finally getting more of it is great. Like, I almost want to, you know, get some of these on Bricklink and go back and replace them on Korgot, so that her chest cannon has trans studs like all of the other protectors' weapons have. Because for some reason she just had solid purple, and that's disappointing. Make sure the box for Onua there is in an accessible place. Because, as you know, I like to prop it up in the background at the end of these videos. Speaking of which, I should probably close that box up, because I didn't do that. And I know this is everybody's favorite part about these videos, but oh well, that's what we're doing. The sound of a closing box is what you got. Okay, now here we are. Here is Onua's chest piece, first and foremost. There's a bit of gold on there. In the original preliminary pictures we got, his entire chest was gold, very similar to Tahu, and I'm glad they changed that. This is, you know, much more muted, looks a whole lot better, and once again, no stickers. His chest isn't quite as wide as it was in the last series, or or last year, rather. Not the last series, but... And so he's got a little bit of a different physique, but I think they kind of went a little overboard with his broad chest last year. But that's just a personal opinion. I know some people like that distinction, but I don't know. It was okay. But I kind of like the way things are done here a little bit better, I think. Even though he is maybe arguably a little bit more generic that way. He's more similar to the other Toa. Anyway, here's his new mask, which... I really like this mask. I think it is a fitting evolution of his mask from last year. I think it's one of the best evolutions of the prior mask here. It doesn't, quite... Here it is compared to, Tahu's mask. It is a little bit bigger. It doesn't quite resemble the... Bakari Nuva as well, or as, maybe not as well, but as much as the Uniter Tahu mask possibly represented the How Nuva, but there isn't really much resemblance there. In fact, it kind of has more similarities to the Cow Nuva in some ways, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just seeing things. But anyway, and then here is the other mask, which is very similar to the drained mask that came with Skull Basher. Oh, and also there's the Nuva symbol right here on his brow, and then actually some more little runes on the side here, which is asymmetrical, which is kind of neat. I do like how the crystal kind of accents coming off the masks are asymmetrical on most of these masks, so that's kind of cool. But anyway, there you have the masks, there you have the chest piece. Anything else new? You have these in gold with clear, I guess that's redundant, just in clear, which is interesting. Not purple. I wonder why that isn't purple. And then all this beautiful, beautiful trans purple going on here, especially the trans purple shells, which are new, and I love those. So, you got the drill, you got the feet, and you got the Unity piece here. So, let's actually get started building this finally. I know I said something similar earlier on, and we're still not building it, and that's just a habit of mine that I probably shouldn't be getting used to, but that's just how things are. So, there we go. That goes on there. I wonder how possible it is to disassemble this piece from this. I wonder if it's like a Toamata headpiece eye stock situation. As I understand, I haven't tried it, but the protector, the Gatling pieces here, which this comes in black here, rather than the gray or the trans-light blue, obviously. The piece that goes in the middle there is also pretty difficult to take out, but I haven't actually attempted that myself, so I don't really know firsthand. Anyway, here we are. I appreciate that this is kind of symmetrical this way, so that it doesn't matter which way I slide this piece, as far as I can tell, at least. Yep, it is. So that's good. And then there's a sea of black parts here, so finding the black gears here is a little bit difficult. But I need a small black gear. There you go. And then I need one of these. That's good English right there. I need one of these. Okay, there we go. There you have the waist. So far, very, very similar to Tahu. And it gets even more similar because we're, once again, doing the exact same thing here. So interestingly, the Tahu and Onua are the $20 sets, and then Umarak, the bad guy, this is not the piece that should go there. Anyway, Umarak, the bad guy, is the third $20 set instead of Kopaka, and then Kopaka's in his own 2-pack. And as I understand, and we'll see once I get to building him, but as I understand, he's kind of a a $15 set as opposed to the $20 set he was last year, posing as one of the $20 sets with a couple of gold pieces, and I guess, like I said, I'll see about that. But that is interesting. And I do appreciate it in a way, because I'd much rather have a slimmer Kopaka as opposed to a much larger, much more impressive villain, which is something we didn't really get in 2015 with the Lord of Skull Spiders. So there is that. It's got that going for it. Now, this goes on here. Onua's shoulders are a little wider than the others, just because of the way the pieces come together here. So that's good, but his torso piece is pretty much the same as the others, so that's what I was getting at earlier. But that goes there, like that, and I'm probably going to need to make another one of these. Yep, seems to be the case. You know, I have had the thought of, like, prepping these Let's Builds so that I can, like, sort the pieces out beforehand. You know, opening the box, taking a look at the pieces, sorting them all out so that the actual building process goes much quicker. But I think there's kind of a charm to opening up the box and having those first impressions and then just kind of finding the pieces. Because as I understand, that's how most, like, kids would do it. They wouldn't separate out the pieces themselves despite the instructions telling them to. I certainly never did when I was a kid. So I think the experience might be preserved a little better doing it this way, but I don't know. I kind of just like doing it this way because that's how I've basically always built Bionicle sets, just dumping all the pieces out and trying my best to find them all. This, there we go, needs to go like that, and these go on here. So far, pretty similar to Tahu. In the base of things here. Like I said, the shoulders are fairly different. And now there is this whole section which serves to potentially bulk the underarms of Onua out. Kind of interesting how they decided to do this. And you'll see what I'm talking about here once it's all together. But we need some angled pieces like that. And these go on here, and then we need some black Borak eyes to do that. And then this attaches here, and like I said, it kind of fills out the shape there underneath the extended shoulders. I don't know if there's a better way they could have done that, but it is interesting. Okay, now we're moving this off to the side and building the legs. And his legs actually are a little bit asymmetrical because all of the sets with the Gatling shooters have like a round of ammo stored on them rather than just sitting off to the side, which is a neat thing. And again, you'll see that here when we get there. But first, we use these Stormer XL feet. I believe they were also in a Invasion from Below set that I never got, in this color too. I think they were silver in Stormer XL. They're kind of cool. I will say that they're not quite as animalistic feeling as Onua's last feat, and he kind of had the gorilla thing going on before, for the better or the worse. And maybe, you know, the tribal feel of these sets and the unity with actual animals this time around, it might have made sense for him to keep the same feet rather than going for these more robotic-looking feet, but I digress. It's fine to me. There you go. You got these new longer bones in Transpurple, which I don't think has been done before. I think those are new, but I could be completely wrong. I often am. I feel like Onua is also much taller this time around, too. I think all of the Toa are taller, their Uniter forms are taller than their original forms, which makes sense, I guess, because, you know, they're upgrades and they want them to feel like upgrades to kids. But I feel like Onua's not the shortest this time around. Not among the shortest with Pohatu. Again, I could be wrong, and like I said, we'll see once I have all of the Toa together. But from the pictures, at least, he seemed much taller to me. But his legs are rather short here, so again, I could be mistaken there. I do think, once again, it's very interesting that there's clear blended in to these instead of purple. Don't know what's up with that. I actually thought when we first saw images of these sets that was some kind of render error, but nope, that is how the pieces are. So, what do I know? Trans purple here, just like that. I'm not one to modify my sets, but seeing all this trans purple exist now, like I said, does make me kind of want to go back and replace the pieces on Korgot, and then go like add more trans purple to Skull Basher. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I care enough to do that. Like I said, I don't really like modifying my sets too much, so you know, I'd much prefer them to be up on the shelf as they're meant to be right out of the box. That's just how I do things. That's how I collect things. Even though Lego is inherently meant for modification, and like I don't judge anybody who likes to modify their sets. I know there's a lot of people who buy sets just to revamp them themselves, and I can understand that. But personally, that's not for me. Anyway, so this piece is what I was talking about. This is like the holstered ammo on Onua's leg here, which is neat. The fact that they decided to include the extra studs for the shooter, for the Gatling gun, this way. He's very, very tightly attached to this, though. So how difficult is that to pull off? I guess not too bad. So yeah, these attach like this. And then that plugs into the side of his leg. And it can freely spin, so you can, you know, pull one off and then rotate it and pull the next one off and then reload his gun. But that is kind of a thoughtful thing. You know, all of the sets that had ammo had like, you know, 6 or 7 extras. Just that you just kind of set off to the side. But it's nice that they, you know, made an effort to store them on the figure. Okay. So the skeleton of one of his arms actually is completely trans purple there, and then the other one for some reason has this as an upper arm. A little bit of asymmetry there. Not sure it was necessary. I believe the reason this is because his weapon is so big and hefty that the trans pieces wouldn't hold it up as well. Because yeah, this elbow joint doesn't feel quite as bumping pieces there. Doesn't feel quite as heavy duty as this one here. So I kind of get that, but it does look kind of weird. Although the armor hides it pretty well, I think here. So, nothing too bad. Just a little bit of a Pohatu situation with the asymmetrical arms, one of them. Well, actually, Pohatu had ball joints in both of his elbows. So yeah, he kind of has more articulation in one elbow than the other. Anyway. So, the 2015 pieces here go on like that, and then trans purple for the lower arms. Right? Yeah. So the arms pretty much look the same, despite being built differently, and one having the gray piece in there. So, now that I've actually built the lower body, I'm actually going to bring the camera back up, so that I don't have to keep bringing Onua down like this to show off his upper body. That would help, wouldn't it? Okay, so back up we go. Yeah, he's not nearly as tall as Tahu, of course, but I do think he is a little bit more on par with the rest of the Toa than he was in the last incarnation. Again, not 100% sure. All right, now we attach the head here. Like so, with the new eye sock piece, of course. And then we attach the chest piece, which I think does look a little bit better than Tahu's, just because it's not such an ocean of gold there. It's broken up a lot more. I still would have preferred it maybe to be 2 pieces, but I actually like this torso piece a lot more than most people I've seen. So yeah, I don't know. It's a personal thing, I think. Varies. Anyway, now I think we're building the hammer here. His giant hammer. That is a little bit consistent with this guy. Most of their weapons, I feel, shift. Or at least, I think the majority of them change their weapons layout a little more than others. I guess Tahu has swords. Maybe what I'm saying isn't quite clear. He still has a hammer. And Tahu, you know, has 2 smaller swords that can combine into like a staff weapon, and you know, Liwa, instead of axes. I guess Liwa had swords too. Maybe this entire argument here is falling apart. Now that I think about it, their weapons are a little more similar than I first thought. My first thought when I started this thought. That was a little redundant in and of itself. Whatever. I'm just talking here. Don't mind me. Just talking. Just, you know, using words, making sentences that mean nothing while I build a thing. Oh boy. Okay. We're already at this point, aren't we? We're only on the 3rd set in, and we're already slipping into madness. Oh well. Here we go. Now we attach this. I just want to make sure I'm on track here. Make sure everything's on camera there. That goes on there, and then I believe this attaches like this, and this long piece here goes through there like that. And then you have this saw blade piece going on right here. I guess that's where you turn to fire the launcher instead of like a gear. Although I think this goes on like this somehow. So you turn the drill. So like you spin the drill and it launches, which seems inefficient, because if you're pointing the drill at something to actually drill it, then the gun is pointing at you. And so when it turns to actually, you know, effectively drill something, it's shooting at you, and that's no fun. Anyway, so yeah, that goes on like that. So you see those geared pieces there, and it slots in. I'm forgetting that I'm up here already. But yeah, there you go. There's that going on. And then you take this, put that on there, put on there, like that, and then this becomes like the drill tip, like so. And then, let's see, this piece attaches here, like so. Get these on like this, making sure everything's kind of focused here, because I feel like it's focusing on Onua. Maybe I should put him back off to the side for right now while I'm building his weapon, so that he doesn't take the focus away. There we go. Then that is not the right color. Out! I don't know why I did that. Why? Why have you forsaken me? Okay, here we go. Make sure that, yeah. Almost lost that under the instructions. Okay. Back on track once again. And then, oh boy, now we make these like casings. You have these Technic pieces. And this one is the one I need first. And then this goes here like that, and then that attaches there. Okay, or it's just one casing. That goes on the top here. And I make 2 of these using these pieces. I should make sure I'm looking at the viewfinder so all of this is on camera. That'd be helpful. And then another one of those for the road. So there and there, like so. And then this attaches here, like this. It kind of covers up all that mess and the gap up there. And that looks super cool! Like, that's a very solid looking weapon. I think so, at least. You got the drill, and then you got the shooter there, and it's kind of a hammer this way. It's a drill on a stick. And then, yeah, like I said, these attach here. I wonder if we're going to actually have any extras even outside the ones. Yeah, there actually is one extra stud. Just one, though, this time, I believe. Yeah, I don't think it goes anywhere. But I will double check once all is said and done. And I actually skipped some steps on Onua. I thought they were waiting to put the shoulder pads on there, but I think I actually skipped a page on accident. So I built this beforehand. So let me go back. Oh yeah, I totally turned the page like this when there's a page in between that has me put on his shoulder pads and like these sections of the weapon. So let me do that. That did seem odd to me. Also, friction extenders, I think might have been supposed to go somewhere. Yeah, in his ankles, and I didn't put those in there as well. So those screaming at me through this whole video. Don't worry, I caught it eventually towards the end here. Okay, so yeah. These extenders do go in his ankles, which do make him a bit taller, even taller than I was expecting. Earlier I said his legs did seem a little short, even though I thought he was going to be taller, but that's probably why, is because I didn't put those in. And then these attach to his shoulders like this, these skull basher pieces. Which is interesting. Like he's a Toa. He's one of the good guys, but he has the skull pieces. I guess Tahu had the skull villain armor as well. But these kind of serve to bulk up his shoulders a little bit, even though his torso piece itself isn't quite as broad as it used to be. And then let's see. We kind of put this weapon assembly together like so, and this attaches to this hand, and then this attaches to this hand. I wonder where they're going with this. And now we skip ahead to, well, not skip ahead, but return to where we should be. And as you put these together, like so, then attach that on there, like that, and then put on his mask. And there, oop, let me just pull that right off. Okay, there is Onua. A few more extra pieces, I think, than Tahu here. So there are those. I'm not sure if I showed off the extra pieces for Akir, but he had a very similar extra parts count to Tahu, actually. But there is Onua. And I really like this Onua. I don't know, his physique is a little bit more like his G1 kind of look. You know, he never was like a hulking beast in G1. He was, you know, very strong and hunched, but he was never very bulky. Whereas, of course, the 2015 Onua was here, obviously. But this guy, you know, is a little more lean, I think. So here he is with this mask, and then here he is with that mask. And personally, I think he looks a lot better with his colored mask here instead of the gold one. But I don't think he should wear this until he combines with his creature, so I don't know. And then he has, like I said, this justice weapon. It's a giant hammer with a drill on the other end, and some like a Gatling gun on that drill face. Again, if you turn this, those pieces will fly everywhere, and I'm not prepared to go looking for those, so I'm not going to show that off. But that is Onua. And that is very, very cool. I just love the way this guy looks. His gear function, you know, is the same as Tahu's. You twist this gear back there, it twists his waist. Here's what he looks like from the back. Not quite as complete as I'd like him to, but that's kind of the idea. The back isn't complete because it's meant to have a creature back there. That's what these guys are built to do, combine with the creatures. And just because of the nature of their gimmick here, most of the Toa have like staff weapons. And something I actually forgot to show off in the Tahu Let's Build is Tahu's weapon becoming a staff here. They sort of combine together here, and you can, you know, twist the gear on his waist, and he can swing that as well. The gears here still don't quite make a whole lot of sense to me, but they can kind of do this, so they can connect together up top there. I don't know, it's something similar to his Nuva weapon. Also, I mentioned his lack of swords on his back, as opposed to the 2015, and I really like that design element. But the wings actually provide a supplement to that, because there are these sword, you know, these blades at least, which kind of are in place of the Kachidoki arm battle flag swords from his 2015 design. Anyway, just an addendum to my Tahu Let's Build there. But this one is supposed to be for Onua, and here he is. So you got this, you got that, you got those extra pieces I showed you already. Here is the box. And that is about it. So, this is IX Roll It IX, signing off.